Obviously, this is going to be a little biased, but I'm going to try to be as non-biased as possible. Warrior is my favorite tank. I've played Warrior since 1.0. I love Warrior, and Warrior in Endwalker is probably the strongest it's ever been defensively. In some situations, you literally cannot die, and it's absolutely fucking awesome. Warrior got a lot of really awesome things, but there's also some things about Warrior that I don't like. There's also some things that need to be changed. First off, it got this. This is the best defensive I have ever seen in my life. This is deceptively good. Now, when you look at this, a lot of people will just see that it reduces damage taken by 20% for 4 seconds. And then that goes down to 10% after 4 seconds. But the reason why I say that it's deceptively good is because of the wide range of uses this move has. It's just not about a buster. Bloodwhetting is just nascent flash. You just target someone else. It's literally the same effect. But Bloodwhetting, you heal yourself. It's a tank buster. It gives you a shield. The healing, like I said, this is deceptive, okay? Because the cure potency says 400. However, that's not always the case because you can guarantee crits. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, would you look at that? Oh, yeah, that's nice. So you can guarantee crits. 1600 potency is not actually 1600 potency. It's actually more. There's almost always something you can use this on every 25 seconds. I mean, obviously you don't have to spam it or whatever, but what I'm saying is the amount of healing that this gives you is fucking crazy. The mitigation is good. 20% plus a shield, that's still really good. But the thing that impresses me most about this cooldown is just how many different situations that you can actually use this cooldown in. None of these situations you actually have to get the full effect and still get a benefit. So for the longest time, my favorite defensive cooldown has been Vengeance. This cooldown has been amazing, but I think I like Bloodwhetting better. Bloodwhetting is ridiculously fucking good, man. It's so good. So that's enough simping for that ability. Okay, this move here, Orogeny. I don't even know why we got this. This is a dungeon ability. It's a DPS increase over upheaval after 3 targets. So you need at least 3 targets for this to be a DPS increase. I'm not really a fan of the animation. That's subjective. I think the animation actually looks kind of stupid, but I don't know why he punches. Why couldn't he just do that with his axe? But anyway, so I'm not a fan of this ability. I think they put this ability in the game so that next expansion, they can upgrade it to a single target and AoE, like they did with Expatian, which is a Spirits Within upgrade. I don't think that this is actually in the game for this expansion. I think it's in the game for next expansion. Primal Rend, this ability is really, really good. It's a gap closer. It's very versatile in the sense that when you use it, you get this buff that lasts for 30 seconds. And like when this falls off, this doesn't. So even after your inner release falls off, you can still use this. Primal Rend is really good. You could also use it as a gap closer. It's a really good ability. They did a good job. It's also Warrior's hardest hitting ability. So it feels good every minute to get your most powerful ability, I feel. Another big thing that it got is 60-second inner release. 60-second inner release is a poggers change. Now it's not on 90 seconds anymore. It's on 60 seconds. So the same case with Delirium. Delirium being 60 seconds is awesome. Inner release being 60 seconds is awesome. This is also a stack. So you get 3 stacks now, which is really good because now skill speed doesn't really matter. So now, like, trying to fit in 5 GCDs under 10 seconds isn't really a pain in the ass anymore. Here's some other really good things. Enhance Shake It Off. Now it actually heals you when you use Shake It Off. The same for Veil. Now you actually get a heal, which the heal can crit, which is kind of silly. Raw Intuition turns into Bloodwhetting. Flash is upgraded. Equilibrium now has a fucking hot. Warrior self-sustain is so fucking good. Jesus Christ, man. There are some times where you literally cannot die. You just can't die. The thing I really like about Warrior is how skill intensive it is defensively, man. Like, if you want to play as well as you can on Warrior, you need to be able to play well defensively. Like, you can live through so much, man. Warrior can take so much damage and still live. It's fucking crazy. Right now, currently, there's like 2 primals, right? Now, the primals, they don't hit too hard. They're relatively easy. I mean, they're primals, but when I'm on Warrior, they can't kill me. They can't. The only way they kill me is like, I don't know, some huge party stack, or they enrage, or some like unlivable condition. But as far as auto attacks and busters, they cannot kill you on Warrior. Warrior self-sustain is so fucking good right now, and it feels absolutely amazing. Just the fact that this job is now a 60-second job makes it more fun. The job overall got so much better. You know, you have all these crazy good defensives too. Thrill buffs your equilibrium. Equilibrium got even better. It got a lot of quality of life, okay? And it also got a lot of really powerful abilities. Like I said, this is the most busted, awesome shit. Dude, every time you use this ability, it feels good. Now for the downsides, because yes, even though I absolutely love this job, and it's my favorite, there's some fucking stupid shit about it. The first stupid shit is this right here. Whenever you use inner release, if you use another GCD, took a stack. Took a stack. And why the fuck does inner chaos remove a stack from inner release? That is so stupid. This is a fucking issue. You should be able to use infuriate during your inner release. They need to fix this. You can do the same thing on Dark Knight. Oh, look. You use delirium. Well, now that's funny. It doesn't drop your stacks. I wonder why that is. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. At least this is what I believe to be the reason. I think that it's the way that this stupid shit is coded. I think that inner release isn't actually inner release. I think inner release is just berserk, but with this as a skin. Delirium is not based off of another cooldown. Delirium is a set-alone cooldown. Why does inner release remove stacks if delirium doesn't? That's interesting. I think it's because of Berserk. I think it's because of Spaghetti, the Spaghetti coding. That's what I think. I still don't like that you can't use Infuriate during inner release. I really wish you could, but you can't. I do like that Upheaval is now off of the gauge. I like that a lot, actually. That Upheaval is no longer tied to the gauge. There are times where you miss out on activations of Upheaval because 1, don't have enough gauge, or 2, you have to use it under inner release and you're waiting on inner release's cooldown. Onslaught, I feel like that they didn't know what the fuck else to give Warrior. They were like, well, we gave him Bloodwhetting, we can't give him anything else, which I mean, that's kind of true. But I feel like that they were just like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just give him another stack of Onslaught. Let's make up for all the times that Warrior couldn't gap close before. So now Warrior went from the least amount of gap closers to the most. Those of you that have been on the stream for a while, you know I'm not a fan of potency being tied to gap closers. I think that gap closers should be a utility ability. I think it's a movement ability. I don't think that there should be damage tied to it. I don't like Pepegaing yourself into the boss for the sake of damage. I think that's silly. I don't understand. I don't think you should mix utility and damage. I think that you should have like 2 stacks of this and have no potency. That would be ideal. So my biggest issues really are the fact that you lose stacks on inner release by using other GCDs. I think that that's bad. I don't like that you can't keybind these. I wish that you could keybind these. I don't like that my Fell Cleave turns into inner chaos. You should be able to use Infuriate during inner release. Inner release shouldn't take stacks unless you use a Fell Cleave or a Decimate. It should specifically say on here, instead of saying each stack allowing the use of beast gauge actions, instead of beast gauge actions, it should say each stack allowing the use of Fell Cleave and Decimate without cost. The big change, now your Mithril Tempest applies your Storm's Eye, or in this case, Surging Tempest. I think this is super good. This is awesome. I don't like that they nerfed Warrior's AoE for like the first couple days on the primals. I kept using my overpower combo on 2 targets. Well, it's not a DPS increase anymore. I don't know why they do this. Sometimes 2 targets is a DPS increase. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. Like, yo, I don't care which one you pick, but fucking pick one of them, man. This shit's not supposed to be complicated. It's 2 buttons. It's a fucking AoE combo. It's 2 buttons, man. Make it consistent across the board. When we're AoEing, we're not using our brain. We're not thinking. We're just fucking AoEing. It would be different if every job was a DPS gain on 3 targets, but that's not the case. Some jobs are 2, some jobs are 3. Some off GCDs are 2, some off GCDs are 3. Doesn't make any sense. It just needs to be consistent. So I don't like that they made that change. So I noticed this. 5,400. Of course I crit. 5,300. So if you notice that, Thrill does not actually increase your Bloodwhetting. This is weird because this is an ability. This isn't based on how much damage you deal, right? So if you deal 5,000 damage, you're not going to heal 5,000 health. It's based on a cure potency. So that means that this should buff it, but it doesn't. It does buff equilibrium, but it doesn't buff the hot equilibrium puts on you. So it's weird. Like, I don't understand. I think that Thrill should buff every healing that you do now. Yeah, so there are some issues. There are little issues like this that maybe they got overlooked. It's easy to overlook that shit. Holmgang got buffed. They just continue to buff this. One of these days, this is what this move's gonna read. Brace yourself for an enemy onslaught, preventing all attacks from reducing your HP to less than 1%. Whenever you take damage under this duration, you heal for 1000% of the damage taken. This will give you a proc. In 30 seconds, the target will take maximum damage and die. You win the game. Eventually, that's what it's going to say because they just keep buffing it. Over and over and over again. They just keep buffing it. This is what Holmgang used to be. Holmgang, level 42 ability, binds both caster and target. That's all it used to be. It didn't used to be an invuln. It did nothing except for hold the target to you. That's all it used to do. Yeah, that's it. And now, this is what it does. Brace yourself for an enemy onslaught, preventing most attacks from reducing your HP to less than 1. Last 10 seconds. Bruh, I'm telling you, they're gonna buff this one day to where you just win the game when you use it. Warrior is super fun. It is extremely powerful defensively. The amount of self-healing and mitigation this job has is fucking bonkers, man. And Holmgang reducing your HP to 1, it kind of doesn't even matter, especially with Bloodwhetting, Thrill, Equilibrium. All of this shit is super good. I want to say the most impressive thing I like about Warrior currently is it's starting to go back to what it used to be. And what it used to be was a very, very strong tank that had a lot of synergy. So what I mean is like you did damage to heal yourself. The more like aggressive you were, the higher the damage that you dealt, the more you healed yourself. So back in the day, there used to be an ability called Bloodbath. Now it's on a melee, but it came from Warrior. The higher damage you dealt, the more you would heal yourself. Well, now it's kind of like that in the sense that you can force proc healing on yourself. You can force crit these heals. So that's really, really awesome. I really like that. I also like that Primal Rend synergizes better with Bloodwhetting than a normal GCD. I like that Inner Chaos synergizes. Like basically the synergy that was lost in previous expansions is starting to come back. And that's really fucking awesome. Like, look, I could sit here and just tell you, you know, but honestly, you just go in and you can just feel the difference. When you play Warrior in a raid, like dungeons pretty much don't matter, but you know, it is really fun when you go into a dungeon and you know that you don't need any of those other people. They're just there along the ride. You go at your speed. You're the warrior. You don't need a DPS. You don't need a fucking healer. You're the warrior. You set the pace. We got one speed, baby. We got one fucking speed. You know what speed that is? Man mode. You just go. You hold kick W and you just kick W your way through that whole dungeon, spinning and healing yourself. You basically benediction yourself 4 times every Bloodwhetting activation. It's actually insane. I would just say to try it because there's nothing I can say that will give you the feeling and satisfaction of doing that. It's very fun and no other tank can do it. Now, another downside. Warrior's damage. Warrior's damage is higher than Paladin, but I think that it needs a slight buff, not a big buff, okay? I don't think it needs a big buff. I just think it needs like 10 potency here, 20 potency there. You know, not much. It just needs a little bit of a damage boost, just a little bit. Paladin needs a little more. Is Warrior's damage bad? No, but it needs a little bit of a boost. So I guess my TLDR for Warrior is that they need to fix some little stuff. But overall, this job is absolutely fucking outstanding. It is ridiculously strong defensively. It's probably the most powerful it's ever been defensively, which really says something because Warrior has always been super good defensively. The 60-second cooldown is also super good too. And Primal Rend is really good, man. Defensive-wise, outstanding. Offensive-wise, really fun. Needs a little bit of damage, just a little bit of potency here and there. The weird shit with Inner Release conflicting with Infuriate and Inner Chaos conflicting with Inner Release is still there. They need to fix that. So it does have some downsides. Thrill not buffing the cure potency on Bloodwhetting or the hot on Equilibrium is also an issue I think they need to look at, but they're not going to look at that shit. They probably don't even fucking know. Overall, it's like super, super good, but it still has some little stuff that needs to be ironed out. But the little stuff that needs to be ironed out, none of it is like super ridiculously important, and overall I think they did a really good fucking job with Warrior. Still my favorite job. Fucking love this job.